Hmm. All right, market opens here in a little bit. Looks like you guys having another gappy day after a nice morning yesterday. And then return at the end of the day. Looks like we're continuing that this morning for whatever reason. Market's up higher a little bit, about 0.1% higher. And you got Tesla down about. Hey, what's up? What's up, Rob? Winnebago taking it on the chin. Doesn't appear to affect it that much though in the general perspective. Tesla also pulling in today a little bit. Also not too bad. See if today's gonna be a test day for the market. Kind of see if these rallies are worthwhile, or maybe we'll just have a strong reversal. Market's been up pretty good the past couple of days. We broke out from that little consolidation, also into all-time highs, fairly loosely. This is kind of a little bit like make or break. You can see over here on the NASDAQ, there's a top trend line forming. I guess it's been formed. If you view it like that, this is this is a rising wedge type of pattern actually on the daily chart. So we'll see what happens here, but it looks like we have a little bit of room to go. It looks like we're gonna try to fill it in here. You guys up 10%, ZTS. Nice little pop up this morning. Everything else seems to be fairly stagnant, except for Winnebago, which took it on the chin a little bit. Let's check out the global list. NXPI, what are you doing? Not much. TDG looks like it's in a flat base. Yep. That's a flat base, and earnings coming up. 11/19, about 3 weeks. Facebook getting up there. That's in a good position. Earnings are tomorrow. Earnings tomorrow on Facebook. So we'll see if all the garbage on Capitol Hill is affecting earnings. Probably not. Almost looks like a kind of an awkward inverted head and shoulders pattern right there. Volume signature is a little off. Your higher volume should be here and here. It's up here at the distribution part. We'll see how that affects things. REGN. REGN. Regeneron. Looking like a little bull flag over here. coming off of a very multi-year low. It's like a somewhat a natural place for it to bounce up and try to maybe go towards one of these trend lines on the weekly chart. And that's not showing on the daily. Oh, there it is. Wow, it's way up there. Regeneron looks very green right here. That looks like a good possibility there. Remember we just had that cup and handle in Tesla? This looks very similar to that. Just a little small cup and handle out of a monster something. This goes all the way back to 2015. It could be interesting. Four pocket pivots in a row on the way up right there. What's going on with Regeneron? It's back in 10.4. Investors pull money from biotech funds for 7th week. That was the one of the pocket pivot days. Lowers price target. Hold. Return price target cut. By Canaccord. November 6th is earnings. On the 17th, BofA announces a 325 price target, whatever that's worth. So nothing apparent on Regeneron, but the chart pattern looks very promising right there. Volume pretty much declining the entire time, and we're still able to maintain highs, which is good. 80 composite rating, 26 relative strength, which isn't very good, but it's been better lately than it was. It was really low. %10 EPS change last quarter, not good. 20% sales change, that's pretty good. Pre-tax margins good at 45%. 0% change in funds owning stock. Well, that may not be reflected yet. This volume right there. Well, regardless, that's a pretty good pattern right there. Looks like NASDAQ pulled in a little bit. I'm going to add that to the actionable list. Starbucks coming down to the 200-day. That's pulled in about 17% so far. Earnings are very soon, tomorrow after market for Starbucks. So we'll see if that's going to have a massive reversal up. All right, INMD still holding here up above the breakout point. Where'd it go? What the hell just happened? It jumped on me. Carvana right back towards highs. It's 24%. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a cup. This is a cup base right here, ladies and gentlemen. This is a base on base pattern for Carvana. Breakout point 85.17. All right, we're getting some bases and some breakout points. Earnings coming up in a week, the 6th. See what happens until then, but so far looks pretty good. Almost like a base on base on base, but I don't think this would be considered a base. Oh, only down 151%. That's good. Or 62%, as the case may be. So that is not a base. This is a base, and this is a base, and these together are a base on base. Getting to see some pretty good opportunities here. Square lower. Some of these aren't on my actionable list, but they're looking pretty decent. We do have Carvana on there, I believe. TDG looks good. AMN with a broader pattern up here. AMN Healthcare, okay. There's Facebook again looking good. Wonder what Amazon's looking like. Amazon and Facebook have been kind of trading together recently. Amazon not as bullish as Facebook for whatever reason. Seems odd to me, but Facebook's up here in this pattern. Amazon's a little bit lower. Earnings, they had that beautiful reversal the other day. Yeah, there was earnings. And they basically retraced the entire move. Almost. Pretty close, not quite though. Still haven't quite gotten over that hump here. Maybe that could be a distribution point right here. Not a lot of follow-up there. So Tesla's down about 2%. Holding steady down there. Coop INMD. Are you guys still leading the charge today? That Carvana's looking pretty good. Right back up to highs. This thing's gonna blast off. There's Court. Court still above, still in a fairly viable area too. Not a tremendous amount of volume. I think if any volume steps in, this thing could jump up. Match, wherever Match just jumped on me too. There we go. Match kind of squeezing into its trend line here above the 200-day moving average, squeezing between the 50 and the 200. There's the 50 in blue. There's the 200 earnings coming up. Kind of a symmetrical triangle forming on Match that could jump anytime. Transport's above the trend line. You see right here and right here. That's pretty good. Skyworks also above the trend line, not pulling back yet, but on that gap up, not looking back. That's pretty bullish. Any consolidation, I think that could be viable, but it may jump before the way things are looking. Snap pulling back. ZTO coming back in a pretty broad and been hard to really get into this guy. Hey, what's up? What are you doing slumming over here? A lot of pocket pivots over here. All right, HEI pulling back. This is one we talked yesterday about potentially. Look at the uptrend this thing's been in. Pulled back once, pulling back a second time here on the weekly chart. This thing could be in for a decent bottom area buy down here. Right around this 200-day moving average. If the market goes bullish on us again, this probably will participate. They are, I believe, an airlines parts manufacturer. So maybe Boeing's hurting them a little bit. Can't imagine the parts manufacturers taking it on the chin that much either. I'm doing okay. The stock shit coins are doing. They've been very choppy lately. They've been choppy. It looks like we're trying to get healthy, but not quite there yet. Things are setting up. Just waiting for them to break out of the setups. JD with this long setup here on the daily chart. Most of the year stuck under that level. Anik, what was that? Oh, that was Anik that popped up. Nice. Gotta be patient with these things sometimes. Momo squeezing in kind of a symmetrical triangle right there in the lower areas. And then Winnebago coming in today. Tesla popping up off of the lows of the day. There's that cup and handle on Tesla. Yeah, SPY made an all-time high. So did the Nasdaq. We generally follow the Nasdaq, but do keep an eye on the S&P. And things are going okay. I'd like a little bit more volume in some of the indexes, but it is what it is. Sometimes on the indexes you don't make highs on volume because it's it's overall with the market, and they're buying different things at different times. And the institutions actually create the bottoms, so what you end up with sometimes is these higher volume sell-off areas and then low volume rises on the indexes. So it's kind of weird and counterintuitive, but sometimes it works out that way. Other times it's standard, like here, higher volume sell-offs. But then at the same time, this also creates your bottoming area with these high volumes right here at the bottoms. So high volume at the lows here, high volume at the lows here, and then it starts getting weak on the way up. It's a little counterintuitive on the indexes, but works out that way in a lot of instances. Individual names are a little different though. Carvana's looking nice. See what Carvana is going to give us. We got 85.07. So it'd be 17. 17 plus 85 is 100. Just over 100. Just under 100. Oh, wow. Your target right at 100. Not too bad, Carvana. Excuse me. All right, so far we're just this kind of feels like what I call a test day. Usually it's after a singular day, but we've had a nice run here about the past 4 days, 4 trading sessions. And what a test day is a test day just they kind of pause the buying for a little bit and they kind of see how the market reacts. Okay, what if we don't buy? Do we see a bunch of selling step in or not? It kind of feels like that type of a day so far. Testing the market to see what's what. I think this is a pretty good chart right here for Carvana. Nice base on base structure. Haven't had a sustained rally here in a while. That's a fairly sustained rally. That's really just a run up. Yeah, see, that was that channel. Remember that channel we had in Carvana? Just wouldn't stop out of the lows. So now we've calmed down a little bit. You have a base here. Another base is formed. Like I said earlier, base on base pattern. I think this one's pretty good. Earnings are always a little bit frightening. But I think that could do okay. All right, a couple things. Joining Winnebago down here at the lows. Momo just came down about 3%. That's a pretty nice drop off this morning. So there's the low trend line. Let's go ahead and draw the high. That seems to be about right. We're right smack dab in the middle of that thing right now. Volume is very diminished. And Tesla's back down here too. 2.43. It came down pretty quick right there. Volume is still within trend, whatever the trend is today. I guess lower would have to be the trend today. But definitely do a consolidation of some kind. Already had two massive days here. It's not going to continue forever like that. Could be short covering, could be a rally, but we'll see what kind of form this consolidation takes. You can see here on the weekly chart on Tesla, we got up here pretty quick to this upper choppy stuff. There's Carvana right at those highs. Look at the volume yesterday. Volume really stepped in yesterday. Let's look at this chart a little deeper. So we came out of the lows here. Started rallying off of 3 higher volume candles down here. This was kind of the low area. Lower, reversed higher, then gapped it lower, and this ended up being your low point. Then it reversed. Kind of low volume right there. Then it starts to rally as volume starts to increase. Boom, 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 boom. Little consolidation, and then yesterday we kind of broke up here. Right there at about the $80 level. And then we see yesterday with this nice elevated volume. And then this morning we don't have any elevated volume yet, but that could change. And so far Carvana looking really good right here. Able to get back up in just a couple of weeks. That's a good looking chart. And Regeneron too. Look at Regeneron. I like Regeneron right here. That looks really nice. Starting to break out. Our volume isn't really there today though. Opening 7,500, 11,000. Volume's a little light this morning. That's the only reservation I have here. Beyond down 21%. Oh, I told you guys I was headed lower. I should have bought some puts. Okay, I gotta look. Oh, on earnings, there you go. Yeah. Remember we were up here? I should have bought some puts. I said it looked a lot like, what was that other one we had? Grub down. Oh, that's not good. Beyond Meat and Grubhub. Well, at least they're just tiny stocks. I'm not really worried about them changing any kind of market trends. Doesn't bother me too much. You don't be too distracted by the sideshows there, Rob. How's Coop doing? Coop's actually doing okay. Remember our bottom area we talked about the other day? Buying at the low of the falling wedge right there. Actually undercut it some. But boom, was able to come right back. And so far, we talked about buying at that high right there. It broke out pretty nicely. Still continuing. That looks like we're going to get that nice rally back at some point. Excuse me. And see what Carvana does up here. We're going to start knocking at those highs here really soon. Whoops. Let's see if we get some increased volume or if our volume just dies. It's already kind of dead, so. NASDAQ still flat, still has barely moved overall this morning. But we had some good volume yesterday. Let's look at some numbers on Carvana. Relative strength is 98. That's excellent. Composite 69, which is pretty low. Usually your best stocks are over 80. Negative 41% earnings, which is why. Sales 107%. That's really good. 3-year sales growth rate 130%. Pre-tax margin 13%. They are an auto car dealership. You have to take that into account. Percent change in funds owning stock 7%, which is okay. It's not great, but it's okay. Debt to equity is 579%. It's usually not a factor in growth stocks, but still a little alarming. It means for every $20,000 car you own, you owe $100,000. That's dangerous. So, triple-digit sales figures, though, will go a long way for a growth stock, and that's got pretty good sales change. All right, Coop trying to break out there. DHI, Regeneron. Been eyeballing you all morning. How are you doing? Pulling in a little bit here. Normal trading stuff, it looks like. How's that HEI doing? Oh, popped right back up. This thing maybe bottomed over here. Still looking to buy this one down here. Damn. That's way too rich. No, it doesn't, Rob. No, it doesn't. No, what, yeah, so you're looking at that. No, they only care about the base depth. And the base depth here, I think, is 25%, which is well within cup territory. That doesn't negate it at all. It actually is part of the base. It means the fact it's able to get back up towards highs. See, the whole premise behind this is CanSlim. This is a CanSlim base. It's a base on base. It's not a traditional base. They don't talk about it in their basic classes, but just the fact that a stock. Let me go back to what I was going to say. The whole premise behind the CanSlim system is that William O'Neill back in the 1950s and 60s did analysis of all the top performing mutual funds, and he found out the stocks were breaking out into the top performing stocks were breaking out into new highs. In that's basically the crux of it, is the whole new highs thing. And the fact it's able to get back towards highs and go into new highs, that is what you want. You don't care that it's already risen 30%. That's not a consideration. That is a feature. You're like, oh, that's good because I want it to get above 85.07. I want this thing to be at 150 at some point. Now, that's not written in the chart here, 150. I'm just throwing that number out there arbitrarily. But no, you want it to be able to rally 30% so it can go another 30%. Your job isn't to get every percentage out of the stock. Your job is to take high percentage trades, higher probability trades based on your edge. And the edge here is basically stock charts, volume, and good earnings. And institutions wanting that. And breaking out into new highs is the hallmark of this system. So it's going to have to get up to get to new highs. So that's a good thing that it's moving up. So the base on base, if you didn't see it earlier because you're probably driving. So I'm doing on the weekly chart here. So let me kind of walk you through this chart here. So here's the IPO. This would be considered your IPO base. So that's your base breakout. That rallied 69%. This pulled back 47%. So this is not a base. You can't pull back more than about 35%, or sometimes a little deeper than that in bear markets. But this was not a bear market. So then you go on up here to form another. So here's a rally. So this rally is 52%. That counts as a rally. This goes down 33%. So this is a cup, and this is your handle right here. So this is your first stage base. There's your little handle. It's only 1 week. 1 week handle. That red candle right there, believe it or not, is your handle. So what happens is right here, this is your prior high, and you're looking for the first red week above the 50% line. Could be this one, but I'm calling it this one because it's closer to the high. So this rallies 26%, and then this pulls back 23%. So this counts as a first stage base. So this breaks out, goes up more than 25%, and pulls back 25%. That's a second stage base. Your breakout point for this particular base would be a cup, and it would be right here. Second stage base. So first stage base, second stage base. The reason this is a base and a second stage base and not a base on base is because this rose higher than 25%. This rose 25%. This makes it another base, not part of the same base on base, which is what we have up here, and I'll explain why. Next, you go up, and we're rallying up here to about 45%. This is not a base. A base takes a minimum of 5 weeks to form. This is just a nothing consolidation. 1, 2, 3, 4. This breaks out on the 5th week, so this is also not another base, although some people would use that to buy. And then we rally. So we actually rally for a total of 126% on Carvana. Then we pull in a tremendous amount, 60%. This is not a base. And, excuse me, a bear market ensues here, right here, which technically wipes out all bases. So your bases start fresh in a bear market. So this is a bear market. Your base count is at 0. And technically, if we were not in a bear market, this would not reset the base count because none of these are bases. To reset a base count, you have to go to the low of your previous base, and you need to undercut that. Even a wick down will undercut that and reset the base count. But we haven't reset the base count in Carvana by this metric, but it is a bear market, so base count is reset. So we're at 0 stage base here now. There's no bases. So what happens? Carvana, this is not an IBD thing, this is a me thing. Carvana breaks the trend line. We go up. We rally in Carvana a lot. We go up here to 124% in Carvana. This always looks weird when the chart's really, I'll squeeze it back in. Makes a little more sense when there's a little bit of squeeze to the chart. Okay, so we rally here, right? We rally here out of enough. This is not a base. There's no base. This is your initial rally. And then we start pulling back here. We pull back 28%. Perfect. This is going to be a cut base because it's more than 15% and less than 33%. So, and then this is our breakout point. And what do? We only rally 11%. Remember earlier I said you have to rally about 25% in order to this to count as a second stage base. So this does not count as a second stage base, but it goes on to form a base. And since it is 25% deep, and since this did not qualify on the rally, this is considered a base on base. So two bases within the same, there's almost like a consolidation period, which is your base, and expansion period, which should go up about 20 to 25%. And if you base within that expansion period, it's considered a base on base pattern. So what happens here is, you have a base, you rally up, and then you form another base, and then your breakout from this should be more powerful based on your double. It's like double bounce if you've ever bounced on a trampoline with your friends as a kid. It's almost like a double bounce. Your target isn't necessarily any higher, but that's kind of the way that it is. So that's how you would have read Carvana's chart from the jump. It's traded extraordinarily well. This one jumped up, pulled back. I mean, these rallies are really good in Carvana. I mean, so we've got this one right here, cup and handle, second stage base here. This one rallies for 128%. Then you come out of nothing here. Trend line break up to this high 118%. So, I mean, you can probably loosely argue Carvana is going to have another really good rally out of this. I don't know about 100%, but if you take maybe a measured move or something, I don't like projecting generally like this, but another thing about Carvana too is that it hasn't breached the 100 level, and your 20% up from here would be right over 100. So we could pause up here at 100 and then do something else. But Carvana looks. I mean, I really like the look of this stock up here. This would definitely be towards the top of my list if the market weren't pulling back. 0.21%. Oh no. We'll see what happens there. A couple more things have joined us at the bottom of the chart here now, or bottom of the watch list. Winnebago Anik now down here. Tesla down 3.3. Took a leg lower. AMD, Momo, JD down here. Coop. It's like pulled in from the highs there. Carvana still maintaining up here, though the market's pulling in a little bit. And you guys pulling in a little bit too. Yeah, sure, Rob. Yeah, that's kind of how you read a chart. I mean, doing it in real time is always a little nerve-wracking. and you know, actually like pulling triggers and stuff, because there's all this garbage in the rest of the market, but you kind of have to just go with the chart. And here's one, you know, going with the chart is sometimes difficult. INMD broke out here. This one's been behaving really well too. This is obviously less chart, but if you look at Carvana, this one rallied immediately. So this base right here would be your IPO base. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually forms a normalized base. Is it a flat base? It is not a flat base. It's down 32%. But it would be a normalized IPO base. IPO base is the first consolidation after the IPO. Usually lasts at least 2 to 3 weeks. And this one is your IPO base. Good breakout on that day right there. Able to hold higher here. INMD. How's our HEI doing? Oh, pulling in a little bit. Still pretty good though. Tesla taking it on the chin a little more here now. Any bad Tesla news? Tesla cut to sell from neutral by Roth Capital. Aww. Tesla confirmed several acquisitions worth $96 million. Well, let's take a look at what Tesla's been buying. I Tesla bought a couple of companies this year. That's pretty much all that article was about. Hexo took a leg down. Oh, they have earnings. Well, we're waiting for something to bounce this up. It looks like it's, yeah, maybe not ready for a bounce yet. Maybe we'll keep going lower on this one. You don't want to be super aggressive in downtrends like this. You want to wait for something. Maybe we looked at this one, remember, the other day. We're like, maybe it's going to do just what this did. And so far, it looks like that is the case. There is some volume down here that could, maybe a double bottom here or something could get somewhat interesting. But remember, we saw from the fundamental side, these things still could pull in a tremendous amount. So I wouldn't be super aggressive with the MJ names until they show you they want to do something. What's Apple up to these days? Still poking there at highs. Crazy. Is everybody Skyworks doing pulling in yet? Come on, Skyworks, pull in. I think Skyworks could have a pretty nice rally. Would like a nice consolidation. Where's our buddy Coop? There's our buddy Coop. How are you doing? You're doing okay. And Quart. was thinking of Court when I said Coop. There it is. Way up there. Haha. There you go, Court. See, here's one that's already broken out of that longer consolidation. Maybe we'll see that reverse up higher. This is a nice. I like this consolidation. Good moves here. Where I got this measure move going up to 16.5. It looks like. Nothing very good on Court on options. INMD up 2% now. Pretty good there. So where's your 20% target? I think we're still buyable. We're actually above buyable territory here. 20% only puts us at 35. Looks like nothing on this chart. Probably blow right past that. If you take that as a measured move, you get up to 38. So it looks like another, that's about 20% from here. Not a lot of volume today. We'll see how that's going to work out. Carvana pausing at those highs. Definitely a bit more red on the screen right now. Well, looks like we kind of do have a, I don't know about a test day. It kind of feels that way a little bit. I think they're just kind of floating around, not nearly as testy as I was thinking, but it's doing good. Although we do have a nice pause in the market here. Kind of looking around. We're looking pretty good. We have a couple things on the verge of breakouts that could really do the charts good here. INMD already broken out here. Looks really good. I'm going to get going here in a little bit, guys. So if you got anything you want me to look at, speak up. Carvana popping, not really popping here, but looks like it may be getting ready to pop here. Can I move you? There we go. Carvana looks like it may be about ready to pop, so we'll see if we form a handle here for this cup and handle pattern. Buddy Court appears to be kind of already on the move, so that's been actionable here the past couple of days. Looks like it's still actionable. Volume's a little bit light on Court, but really nothing too bad. Come on. It's been pretty consistent though. Pretty consistent in the buying pressure here, which is nice. So Court's looking good. And we have a few pretty good ones. CRM, it looks like it's breaking our trend line right there late yesterday and today. This is Salesforce. Salesforce is leader. And highs are only 7% away. Let's see what that gives us. Up to 167 is the high. That's not bad. Regeneron in that looks like pulling in after trying to break out of this little minor base here earlier today. Regeneron looking pretty good. We're seeing some decent action. MDCO continuing. Twitter took it on the chin right there. Coop trying to come back. Sherwin-Williams just more highs. You want highs? Just go into Sherwin-Williams. It'll be about 30 cents a day, but you'll get highs. Match.com. This one appears to be squeezing here as well. Coming into earnings, though, 11.5 in about a week. Not sure. May try to rally before that. These squeeze patterns like this tend to be. They tend to pop. That's what they do. Kind of hitting against the 74.5 level. And Match.com here on the weekly chart, you can see this bottom one is the 40-week moving average, which is akin to the 200-day moving average. You can see we've only hit that a few times, able to bounce back significantly off that. 56% off that moving average. 35% off, actually. 47. 60. This one got really aggressive. Oh, nope, 60%. So, see what happens with Match.com here. Wait to see maybe if there's some other industry things in the industry that are popping off early. This one pops off on the 5th. And DocuSign from that breakout point right there looks really good. So market doing pretty good here. Down a little bit, but you know we've identified quite a few good possibilities. Carvana, INMD already broke out. We talked about that one when it broke out. Yeah, kind of same old, but good. Still liking Tesla overall. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get out of here for the day. Have a good one. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.